Welcome to episode 68 of Central Intelligence Cinema. Today we are bringing you our brush pass style review of 1990's Bullseye, starring Sirs Michael Caine and Roger Moore. But without further ado, take it away, Pierce.
Beg your pardon, forgot to knock.
Welcome to the CIC, initiating security clearance.
My name is Napoleon Solo.
Bond. James Bond.
Natasha Romanoff.
Ethan Hunt.
Felix Leiter.
Elsa Faust. Identity confirmed.
Now, pay attention, 007.
Welcome to Central Intelligence Cinema, a podcast dedicated to spy movies and secret agent pop culture.
Your mission, should you decide to accept it.
Do you expect me to talk?
I'm in the middle of an interrogation. This moron is giving me everything.
Yeah, baby!
Special agent, you're not having a very special day, are you?
But remember, nothing ever goes according to plan.
Tom, what do you think you're doing?
Keeping the British hand up, sir. This tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Recording from an undisclosed location on a train going on an autumn tour of stately homes of England and Scotland. It's a Central Intelligence Cinema podcast. I'm Jason Greenberg, and with me, as always, Ben Esslinger.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Jason. And welcome back to the CIC, the spy movie podcast that is meeting you with a view to Harry Palmer and St. John Smythe.
Hello.
Oh my, that's
Well.
right. Oh boy, we have got quite the movie that we are reviewing today.
Oh yeah, you know that you're watching quality entertainment when they mention the name of the movie not once, not twice, but literally 4 times throughout the film.
You counted, huh?
Oh, I absolutely did. When I got number 2, I put a countdown going.
We should have just lined up shots every time they said Bullseye.
Absolutely.
But yes, the movie in question is Bullseye!
With an exclamation point.
With an exclamation point, which is worthy of mention because this is now the third brush pass in a row that examines a movie with an exclamation point in the title. What is that about?
Well, I'm starting to think that you shouldn't have to watch any movies that have an exclamation point at the end.
I'm definitely starting to think that if you put an exclamation point at the end of your movie, you're a little desperate because you know that something's wrong with your movie.
That's right. So remember, if you ever see a Star Wars movie that's like Star Wars Episode 11, Adventure! With an exclamation point, don't watch it.
Just don't watch it.
Just
don't watch
Just
it.
don't.
You're not going to miss anything.
No.
I also think it's rather appropriate. Granted, it is a made-up holiday. We were just speaking on the fact that it is a made-up holiday, May the 4th. But it is kind of appropriate that we are recording this on May the 4th as a Star Wars alumni. Billy J. Mitchell is in this movie.
Isn't Billy J. Mitchell like an every movie alumni from like 1978 all the way through like 96?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, we've now covered Billy in 2 different brush pass reviews, which also means Billy J. Mitchell has also been in 2 movies with exclamation points in the title.
Which also may be an explanation of why his career never got past average American number 3.
Yeah, well, I mean, the highest up he got was in Goldeneye.
Sure.
As being killed by the legs of Xenia.
Which, I mean, if you gotta go...
If you're gonna go with a smile.
Go with a smile.
Yes, but we are here to talk about Bullseye. Kind of sadly, actually. It's a rough one.
The sole reason that we picked this movie was because it had Roger Moore
and Michael Caine. Yes.
Right? So I don't think there was any discussion about whether it was going to be good or not. Perhaps even an assumption that it wasn't going to be good based on the premise.
Yeah, well, and then I watched the trailer and I'm like, oh boy, what have we gotten ourselves into?
As far as I'm concerned, we got ourselves into exactly what I thought we were going to.
Right.
What I didn't count on was the fact that we were going to get the same shitty American accent from Michael Caine that we got from Jigsaw Man that we just watched.
I know.
He's got one speed, and that speed is Oklahoma oil baron, I guess.
It was a little less southerny, but...
Like I said before, it was so bad in Jigsaw Man that I literally could not do the voice for it. Well, and I'm still struggling now.
And it was so bad in this movie that they literally said it in the movie.
Yeah, they called it out.
They called it out for what it was.
Twice.
Well, shall we get into it?
We need to, because it's rapidly sinking away from my brain as we speak.
All right, let's do it.
Meet Dr. Hickler and Sir John Babistock, two corrupt scientists hiding a fortune in diamonds. Their only misfortune is that they share a striking resemblance to these two thieves.
This is absolutely unbelievable.
Now, with a little help,
Plastic surgery.
these crooks will have the perfect faces to pull off the perfect heist.
My name is Hickler, Dr. Daniel Hickler.
Love the new nose, Sid. The accent stinks.
I'm dead.
And with the way things are going, these thieves will need more than luck to stay alive. Even James Bond never had it this rough.
I've heard of losing your head over a woman. But this, I can't believe those two bums are still alive.
When Oscar winner Michael Caine, Roger Moore, and Sally Kirkland take aim to steal a fortune in diamonds,
Everybody down!
you better take cover. Bullseye, on target, and totally off the wall.
You don't look happy.
I come from a broken home.
Okay, Bullseye with an exclamation point. Released in 1990, just 5 years after A View to a Kill, directed by Michael Winner, who did, shockingly enough, Death Wish 1, 2, and 3, The Sentinel, and Hannibal Brooks. It was written by Leslie Bricusse, who is mostly known for musical-type movies, such as Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Victor Victoria. And then Michael Winner also has a writing credit, as well as Nick Mead, who I looked at his IMDb page. He didn't do anything really of note. So, and it shows.
Right?
So we have the director of Death Wish and a writer who specializes in musicals, and this movie kind of checks out in that respect.
It seems like the product you would get between those two people.
Yes. Director of photography was Alan Jones, who did Enemy Mine and The Chase. Yeah. Although I will say that on his IMDb, it looked like he was mostly a camera operator, which checks out as well, because you were telling me in the trivia that this movie had a really small...
There was one particular scene.
Oh, there was one particular scene.
That with John Cleese, where they had a very minimal crew that apparently it was like the smallest crew ever to film anything in a major movie, which I have to, after watching this, question whether the major movie was an apt title or not.
Any movie that you can only get in 4:3 aspect ratio at this point doesn't really scream major movie to me.
You mean like, I don't know,
The Jigsaw Man?
We're going to have a lot of callbacks because I'm actually pretty sure it's the same production company that produced this one as well. Yeah. And apparently from the notes, this was a casualty of the destruction of Caine Films.
Caine Films.
Yeah. Purveyors of such great movies as Superman 3, Superman 4, every crappy 80s movie you ever watched. Menachem Golan, may you rest in peace, my friend.
Music, oh boy. Music was by John Dupre, who did lots of Monty Python stuff, including A Fish Called Wanda, as well as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1 and 2.
Wait a minute. Secret of the Ooze?
Yes.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
Well,
go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
That checks out as well.
Outstanding.
Because the music in this movie was just over-the-top cornball, which sort of follows the movie, though, I suppose.
I mean, yes, it was appropriate for the material.
Yes.
Nobody really put in any effort into this. Why would you put any effort into the music?
Yeah, I mean, this is just, oh boy. The budget was $15 million in U.S. money, but I couldn't find any good box office numbers for this movie. I'm
going to go on a limb and say it didn't make its money back.
I'm going to agree with you there. According to Wikipedia, as far as in Britain, it made 100,500 British pounds. So who knows? I don't know. I get the feeling this is mostly a direct-to-video type of situation.
Yeah.
I mean, it is 1990, which is kind of the era of direct-to-video.
Yeah, when it became an actual thing.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is a stinker. This thing is a stinker.
Yeah, and I just don't feel like it even got released out here.
I didn't even know it was a thing that existed until you told me about it.
But this is the thing. If it's a Roger Moore-centric-y thing, you should have known something about it if it had any kind of... And if it's a Michael Caine thing, then you would have thought I would have figured it out.
Yeah. I mean, we literally had to watch it in standard definition as well.
That was all there was.
Yeah. There was no high definition copy of this movie anywhere. Just to give you a general synopsis for those of you who haven't seen this rather hard to find movie anyway, from IMDb it says, 2 scientists working for the UK and USA invent cold fusion. They decide to auction it off to foreign nations, and 2 look-alike crooks decide to steal their deposits but end up working for the CIA and MI5.
This is a perfect synopsis of a movie that you will not be able to sort out from actually watching the movie.
Right. This movie makes no sense whatsoever. Like, the number of times that I had to pause, go back, look at you, and be like, what the hell just happened here?
Did I just see that?
What on earth is going on here? I don't understand.
It's literally
why
4
did this
movies.
happen? Why did this balcony just fall? Why does this guy keep showing up that's happy about his wife being killed? Like, what is going on?
It struggles to be, it almost feels like it struggles to be almost a legitimate spy thriller with some comedic bits.
And then it also struggles to be a comedy.
And then it struggles to be a comedy and then doesn't know exactly what kind of comedy it wants to be.
No.
Is it a straight up British comedy? Is it Dirty Rotten Scoundrels comedy?
Is it Top Secret?
Yeah, Top Secret. Is it an Abrams comedy?
Because it goes from kind of the more buttoned up British comedy at the beginning to by the end, we are full Abrams Top Secret, like
stupid gags.
Just stupid gags after
parody.
Yeah. Just completely
Fourth
ridiculous.
Wall breaks that have no place being in a movie that it was the hour before we got to the first
fourth wall breaks from characters who weren't the voiceover in the first 2/3 of the movie.
And, it reminded me because, Michael Caine is your narrator for the film.
Yes.
And it reminded me of how at like the last, the final hour, somebody decided that nobody could follow Blade Runner. So they had Harrison Ford cut over a narration in noir style which fit the film, but neither Harrison Ford nor Ridley Scott were happy with that decision to do it. Right?
And that's exactly what they did here.
They narrated it because without a narrator, they didn't think you could figure it out. And in this case, with the narrator, you still couldn't figure it out.
You could barely follow at all what's going on. But you'd be even more lost if that narrator wasn't there either.
However, if you're trying to perfect your Michael Caine voice, this is almost a perfect movie for it.
Absolutely.
Because he has his normal voice as he narrates. He's doing more of a Cockney accent while he's trying to do to one character. And then he does a really bad American accent. That honestly,
accent.
I have a bad American accent normally, and it sounds better than this one. I mean, this makes Benedict Cumberbatch's American accent actually seem like it's a real accent.
Like Oscar-worthy by comparison.
Oscar-worthy, exactly. He must have really prepared for that.
Oh, boy. Well, let's get into the main characters here. We've got Sidney Lipton / Dr. Daniel Hickler.
Hickler. Not Hitler.
Not Hitler, which I did think it was for a little while there.
Well, because every time that Michael Caine said Hitler, it sounded like he was saying Hitler.
Yes.
So,
it's Hick.
Hick. Like, that would have been Hickler. A funny joke of the Abrams variety.
Nobody bothered to do that.
Dr. Hitler? Hickler. Dr. Hickler. Except he would have been, no, it's Dr. Hickler.
Yeah, exactly.
Not Hitler. Hickler.
Hickler.
Hicklar. Hickler.
And then we've got, so I should say Sidney Lipton, Dr. Hickler is played by Michael Caine. And then we've got Gerald Bradley Smith / Sir John Bavistock, played by Sir Roger Moore.
It should have been Gerald Bradley Smythe.
Well, I mean, John Bavistock is not far from...
that totally sounds like a made-up James Bond identity name.
Well, because he says in... Which Roger movie was it where he plays John Stock or something like that? I want to say it's View to a Kill is one of his cover names. So you're right there with it. And boy, I love Roger Moore. But, whew.
I mean, to say he was one note is unkind. It felt like he was trying.
He was trying. It's just... This is clearly a vehicle for these two to make a movie together because they were great friends. Right. They were practically best friends.
Right.
And they're like, hey, let's, we both are at the top of our careers right now. We could make anything we wanted and just make a movie, make a little bit of money. Maybe we don't. We'll get paid regardless.
Right.
So let's just make a movie. What have you always wanted to do? Well, I've always wanted to do a goofy comedy.
Yes, and I've already done a goofy comedy with Steve Martin. But I'd like to do one with you, just because you're my friend.
That's right. And so that's what they did. Because, bless his heart, Roger Moore, he Roger Morris his way through this movie.
He absolutely does. And there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, there are a couple very endearing moments when he gets dressed up in disguise as the blind piano tuner. German.
Or Viennese, I couldn't tell, but
blind Viennese piano tuner. That was actually kind of funny. It was kind of endearing to see him go so wackadoo, so outside of typecast.
Right. But at the end of the day, you still get the little TT funny ha-has like you would in a James Bond movie if James Bond was doing that.
Right. Like when the girl walks out the door and he
dips down the sunglasses.
So he can look at her butt and the whole... Oh, boy.
And while we were watching this, I'm talking about how Michael Caine really gets loaded with the comedy bits in this, especially the slapsticky stuff at the end.
Yeah.
Probably because he was the only one who could have pulled them off.
Certainly. Almost certainly. So some of the other characters we've got Willie, who's kind of the third leg of this team that's established in this movie, who is played by Sally Kirkland, and she was in The Sting, JFK, Steel Magnolias. She's been in quite a few things, and as soon as I saw her, I'm like, I know who you are, but I don't know what I've seen you in, but I know I've seen you in things.
She's a character actress. She's not starring in anything. She's just playing supporting roles to other people who are starring in things.
Sure.
Which is effectively what she's doing here.
Right.
Is playing a supporting role to two actors who are in other things.
Yes.
And her bra was not doing such a great job of a supporting role in this film.
My goodness.
At least not in that first shot.
My goodness.
It was almost distracting.
Almost?
All right, it was very distracting.
It was incredibly distracting. I'm like, good Lord, what is going on here with wardrobe? Anyway. But she's fine. She kind of just plays a straight role in it.
Her job is to move things forward and facilitate.
She's kind of exposition to a degree.
Exposition and facilitation. That's what she does here.
Yeah. Also kind of in that same category is Flo Fleming. The character Flo Fleming, played by Roger Moore's daughter, Deborah Moore, who, fun fact, was in Die Another Day as an air hostess. And she had also appeared in Chaplin, and then she's done a lot of voice acting. But she was fine. I think she has...
Perfectly adequate.
Perfectly adequate. Honestly, I kind of feel like the acting chops kind of passed down at the same level as Raj.
Yeah. She was... What was she playing? An American Spy. Did she play an American Spy fine? She was fine.
Yeah, she was fine. She was fine. And clearly she must have grown up stateside for at least a while, because her American accent was definitely genuine.
Yeah, it sounded well, and I think in the notes it said she went to school with Rita Wilson, Tom Hanks's wife, at a school called Lambda. I didn't take the time to look where Lambda was.
Was Omega Mu there?
Could be. I don't believe that Tri-Lambs were there, because it didn't say Tri-Lambda.
Right.
But so she, at least if she did not grow up in the U.S., I'm assuming that she had an education in the U.S.
Yeah.
Which I suppose is, if you go to school for 4 years at a drama school, which is what it looked like, maybe you're going to learn how to do a decent accent.
Yeah.
By that token, we know that Michael Caine did not go to this Lambda school.
No, he did not.
No, he did not.
If there's one thing that I have learned over these past two movies with Michael Caine that we have reviewed, he cannot do an American accent.
No.
Oof,
No.
But anyway, I digress. We've also got Daryl Hyde, who was actually quite popular. Like in the 60s, he was known for playing this guy in a TV show called Surfside 6. But he also was in Airplane 2. He was also in Death Wish 3. So clearly he's worked with Mr. Winter before. He plays Daryl Hyde as the head of the CIA in this movie, who is just kind of a completely inept... Really, the entire CIA in this movie
is inept.
They just portray them as like bumbling, very typical American... typical American... portrayal by British people, basically.
Fair enough.
Or at least in the 80s.
Yeah, well, I kind of feel like the CIA in general really got the bumbling, heavy-handed, bumbling idiocy. Because at that point in time, the CIA was the thing, right? I mean, it's the height of the Cold War, all of the other things. So you either saw them portrayed as just steely-eyed killers who are focused on a mission, or bumbling idiots who were focused on the mission. There's a lot of mission focus going on.
Yes.
Just different levels of how well the mission was being carried
proficiency.
out. Yes, exactly.
And then I have to bring up, we have this guy that keeps reappearing in this movie called Elmer the Tourist, played by none other than Billy J. Mitchell, the man that is in everything.
Correct.
The actor that is in absolutely everything. We also have some cameos. We have John Cleese, who his credit in IMDb is man on the beach in Barbados who looks like John Cleese, which is perfectly adequate for the amount of screen time that he gets.
Well, and that's what he was literally called at the end of the movie.
Oh, okay.
Because he's a con artist. So that last bit of narration at the end over the credits, they say
that's right.
They say that he turns out to be a con man who takes all their money as they want to make a film about their adventure, and they end up broke at the end of it.
Completely over my head.
Right.
Just went completely over my head.
Which explains why you can't hear Cleese talk in this movie. He's mumbling the whole time.
Well, and the only thing you hear him say is something about area code, which I don't even get what that whole
I don't know,
was.
but he wasn't being as John Cleese, as we all know John Cleese to be.
Right.
And so I think that maybe John Cleese can't play anything but John Cleese.
Right.
So they're like, just talk quietly. They'll know it's not you if you talk quietly.
Right. And then we've got one other cameo, just a very quick one.
Very quick. I'd hardly even call it a cameo.
Yeah.
It's really just an uncredited vocal scene or something.
She's basically just somebody who happened to be on the train. Well, she's credited literally as Sick Lady on Train.
Right.
Played by Patsy Kensit, who you may know as the romantic interest in Lethal Weapon 2.
Well, I know her as a romantic interest in Lethal Weapon 2.
I certainly do as well. That is a fine Dutch woman. That's all I know.
They could have made her the buyer for one of the blonde.
Oh, yes, the nymphomaniac buyer.
Nymphomaniac blonde buyer from the bidding war that they have later in the film.
Yeah. Or she could have played Willie. Well, no, she wouldn't have been. She's not old.
She could have played Flo.
She could have played Flo.
But they were definitely going. I feel like Roger's like, well.
Yes. Then you couldn't do the little wink, nudge, nudge joke at the end about.
The longest payoff joke.
Yeah. This girl looks much more like my daughter.
Yeah. I thought she would have been my daughter.
Yes.
Well. I'm sorry, my Roger Moore is just saying well.
Well, I mean, it's yeah.
Hello, darling.
It's the start and finish of well. So we're going to try and go through this movie. Kind of, sort of.
I mean, honestly, I don't think we could cover this point by point when the synopsis pretty much covers everything. There's nothing in this movie that isn't covered by those 3 sentences.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, basically, it's just 2 guys who are con artists. It is, I will say this, it's more focused on the con artists than it is on the scientists.
Because the scientists are the MacGuffin, more or less.
Right.
To generate what the 2 con artists are doing.
Right.
I mean, we could talk about the fact that, Michael Caine comes out of the clink, and he's got a fake nose.
Oh my
gosh. That they have to somehow find the money to pay for to fix the nose.
And I love how they establish right off the bat that he's a dart throwing whiz.
Right.
Because he's in the clink and he's throwing darts and he's winning against some one-armed guy.
I'm playing darts against a one-armed man.
And then, weirdly enough, he doesn't want to leave.
Yeah, because he wants to finish his dart game.
He wants to finish his dart game.
But he literally gets paroled while he's playing darts.
Yeah.
And he wants to stick around.
Yeah.
But, so he gets out of the clink. He's got this bad nose. He meets up with Willie. And she's got he goes back to his house, which has been condemned.
Yeah, and this is one of the more kooky things that happen at the beginning. Although it does feel very Monty Python-esque, because they still haven't gone full Looney Tunes about it. It's more, they still play it straight, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
It's not so goofy the way that it is at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But the whole house falls down around him. Literally, quite literally.
Yeah, it's a full Buster Keaton.
And
the window goes right over. And there we go.
Yeah. And then she rolls up. Willie rolls up.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, oh, hello, you're out of prison. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We don't know there's a wink, wink, nudge, nudge at this point, but it's like she just shows up.
She just happens to show up at the exact perfect time. And of course, she's going through this situation now where she had married some old guy that she knew was going to die in 6 months. So she was trying to get his inheritance.
Right. And then doesn't.
That whole thing falls through. So you kind of realize that she's also a con artist.
Right.
And then we get this ridiculous scene introducing Roger Moore's character as this guy that basically sells out every person that he does
works with,
that he does a job with, or he rolls up behind some rich, what is he, some American?
He said he was an American senator.
Yeah.
And that was the joke. Is he rich? Well, he's an American senator. Oh, then he's rich.
Then he's definitely rich. And then they switch out the suitcases from one car to the other so he can drive away with that. And as they're driving away, they leave one of their men behind. And he's like, oh, sorry about that guy. And he gets his name wrong even as they're driving away.
Let's not dismiss the fact that he's really rocking the bad wig and the cheesy mustache
yes,
at this point.
It must be mentioned that he looks exactly like this. It's the exact same disguise as when he played Toro, General Toro in Octopussy during the pre-title sequence. He's got the bad mustache with the flat cap and the
only thing he didn't have was the really bad hair.
Yes.
Nor did he have a cool rocket plane to fly out when he was done.
Indeed. No, instead he just hopped in the backseat of a car and did bug eyes, goofy bug eyes as they drove off.
That's right.
And this movie there's so much, they just throw the kitchen sink at this movie.
Well,
and not in the same way that Top Secret does. Like Top Secret, there's always a good punchline to everything that they did.
But it's done by two writers and a director that know how to do satire and parody really, really well.
Yes.
So this one, like I said, it didn't start out that way.
Right.
But it didn't really know where it was going. Maybe the problem is you don't have a director who's comfortable with comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't know. I just know that as difficult as it was to describe that first scene with Roger Moore, this entire movie is that way.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that I can gather from that initial scene with Roger Moore is that they're really trying to beat you over the head with the fact that he ditches out on all the other people that he's doing jobs with. Because then, even after they get away in the car, he shows his driver the pictures that are in the briefcase that they stole, which are lewd or whatever, and it distracts the driver. The driver ends up crashing. So then the cops jump over to where the car is crashed, and Roger gets out and is like, arrest him, it's his fault. And then he just walks away and takes the suitcase with him, again, abandoning yet another person on the...
And let's talk a minute about crashes in this movie.
Oh, God.
There were so many incidental
They're not
crashes.
Even good. They're not even big. They're just little
Yeah, this guy crashes slightly into a car.
Right.
A taxi driver crashes slightly into a lamppost. Right? Somebody crashes slightly into the Range Rover.
Yes.
And then there's a Volvo that crashes a little bit more than slightly into another car. It's maybe the only real car crash in this.
Right.
But it's like anybody on a vehicle is either going to hit something or nearly hit something.
Holy cow.
We nearly get a
near
sheep.
miss. The sheep nearly buys it.
Right. The bystander nearly gets hit by the car.
And on the motorcycle, too, at the end.
So it was like, let's build up the tension by nearly hitting things.
Yes, for sure. A lot of that.
Why do they call you nearly hitting things?
Let's see here. What happens next, Jason? Well, they all meet together.
Yeah, in her house. Which is currently having everything removed by the girlfriend who got the fortune.
Right.
But who generously allowed her 28 days to get out of the house.
Right. But meanwhile, she's literally sitting there. And each time they cut back to this house, there's less stuff inside the house.
And the funny thing is there's imprints, or not imprints, but on the wallpaper.
Markings on the wall.
It's whiter where something was hanging than it is around it.
Well, I mean, kudos to the set designer.
Right.
At least somebody was doing their homework.
Yeah, somebody was like, I'll put a little effort into here. Surely it'll be noticed. Well, guess what, sir or madam? It was duly noticed by the greatest spy-adjacent podcast to ever hit the airwaves by two guys who compare themselves to Dante and Randall.
That's right. So, yes, I digress. They wind up at this house where things are slowly being moved out of it. And Michael Caine's character is mad. Well, first he gets out of the clinic, he comes in, and there's that other guy that I guess they do jobs with, who's a police officer.
He's a police officer, but he's in on their scams from time to time.
Right. And so first Caine is mad at this guy.
He's mad because he thinks he dropped dime on him and got him in jail.
He thinks that's why he had to go to jail for the past 3 years or whatever. And then something that the cop says sort of convinces him, oh, wait a minute, why wouldn't I think of Gerald?
Right.
Because Gerald dumps everybody into the clinic.
Exactly.
And then Gerald gets there. And so then he goes after Gerald once Gerald gets there. And you know what? This is really hard to do.
Yeah. I mean, does anybody need a play-by-play of this movie?
No.
Did we even need to watch the whole thing to get the point of it? No.
Probably not. No.
I mean, when it starts off, they say that everyone has someone that looks just like them. No, they don't. Who says that?
Also, it should be noted, we'll go back to the very beginning, because at the very beginning, as that voiceover is going, we actually meet the scientists first.
Yes.
And we get this moment where the scientist, Michael Caine, Hickler, so Hickler's in his lab and he's doing stuff, and it's almost very Mission Impossible 2.
Sure.
Where, you've got these colored vials going into water or some other fluid, and it's very science fiction-y type stuff. And the camera movement is wild in this first scene. And I don't know if they're trying to prepare you for how madcap this movie eventually becomes or what it is, but the direction on camera is so strange. It's so fucking strange. So I digress. So he's dipping these bell-shaped beaker type things that are being put into water. Things are bubbling, and Michael Caine is laughing like a maniac, thinking, ha ha ha, my plan has worked.
It's alive!
It's alive! And he pulls this floppy disk out of a thing.
Floppy disk.
A floppy disk, a 3.5.
Hey, so it's got at least 2 megs in there.
That's right. 2.5 megs at most information.
I mean, that's a lot of data.
That's half of a song on iTunes.
That is a lot of data.
A lot of data.
I could see how all of the plans for how cold fusion works could easily fit into 2 megabytes of data.
He pulls it out of the disk drive, and as he pulls it out, the title credits for the movie size up as it's spinning, as it's rotating at the same time. This is so 1990 for it to do this, and really it's more like 1985 type level title graphics, but it sizes up and then eventually stops rotating. And just as you can read it, he says at the same time, Bullseye.
Number one.
Bullseye number 1. Oh, and we should explain that he's convinced that he has now cracked cold fusion. He's very happy. And then we cut to Roger outside talking to the press about their experiments.
Right.
And in the weirdest moment ever, as he's just sitting there, well, yes, something. And Michael Caine is in the background, comes out of this building at the top of the steps and is like, I did it! He's like freaking out. And Roger just jumps up out of the chair, runs for him. And he's like, I got it, in the worst American accent I've ever heard. And they establish right off the bat that Hickler doesn't drink.
Well, it's all very important.
It's all, to the rest of the movie, I suppose. And so Babistock is like, well, why did you get champagne if you don't drink? And then he throws the entire bottle of champagne at the wall and breaks that. And despite all this celebration, the press runs over and they're like, did you solve it? And they're like, it was a complete failure. And then they turn around and walk away because they, of course, are evil scientists who intend to sell it to the highest bidder on the open market.
Precisely. Like you do.
Like you do. Like evil scientists do. And
I mean, honestly, this thing...
There are they create so many weird twists and turns in this movie that don't amount to anything.
They don't. But they spend so much of this movie trying to establish the differences between the two individual characters.
Yes.
That it almost becomes redundant. Because once they show the two con men doing the things that they've been told about the characters, you should be able to stop.
Right.
But they keep doing it. And this whole thing about that whole scene clearly to establish that this is what This is what the American does.
Right.
And this is what the British guy does.
Right, because Hickler doesn't drink, but meanwhile, Sidney is basically a drunk.
Right. But I mean, so they spend all of this time establishing it in dialogue and action when in a normal movie that wasn't trying to be whatever this was trying to be,
right,
they would have simply had a dossier.
Yes.
So it's important to note that Hickler is a vegetarian who doesn't drink.
Right.
So these are some key things you're going to have to remember as you go, well, that's not going to work for me. I drink and I like to eat meat. Well, you can't if you want to make $1 million.
Right.
Which I believe was what they were promising was $1 million in diamonds.
Yes.
Which, okay, $90 million is probably.
Sure.
But still.
The other thing that's funny about this, though, is they did no effort whatsoever to try and distinguish the two Roger Moores.
Well, because
the only difference between the scoundrel Roger Moore and the slightly less scoundrel Roger Moore is the twist, like
the hair and the mustache.
The hair and the mustache, and then also when he's playing the scientist Bavistock, he behaves in a very cartoon villainy, twisty, the evil mustache type, that type of bad guy. Whereas Gerald is just kind of a goofball who's just constantly trying to get laid.
Which you do. I think for the duration of this podcast, from this point on, we're just going to refer to the con men Caine and con men Roger.
That sounds good.
Because I can't scientist Caine.
Yeah.
Because I can't do it either.
I can't do it.
And I don't think we really need to.
No.
Nobody, listen guys, the only way to get this movie in the U.S. currently is to pay $6?
Yeah, on Prime.
On Amazon Prime.
To rent it, yeah.
Please do not pay $7 to watch this movie.
In fact, you can watch a low-res version, and that's not really that much worse than the version that we saw, for free on YouTube.
So please, don't watch this movie in low resolution on YouTube either. It's garbage.
No, but they should if they want to follow along.
Why?
In their storybook.
You can't even follow along when you're watching the movie.
That's okay.
It may be more coherent with us jumping back and forth on what we can remember from a movie we just watched 30 minutes ago.
30 minutes ago, yes. This movie is insane.
It is a doppelganger movie.
Yes.
So it has all the doppelganger movie tropes, including the no, I'm him. No, I'm him. No, I'm him. No,
so
I'm
many
him.
times. They do it so
over and over again to the point where you lose who the hell is who.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, even Mr. Spock could figure out that Captain Kirk wasn't going to be that aggressive when you had a double, right?
Well, and there's even a moment at the end where the two are mismatched.
Yes.
Where scientist Roger Moore is matched up with scoundrel Michael Caine.
Yes.
And vice versa.
Yes.
And it's just, I don't.
You don't. You could just leave it at that. You don't.
All you need to know is that these guys, the crux of it is that these scientists were already given some diamonds. And that was sort of the ante.
That was a buy-in to get into the auction.
That was the buy-in to get into the auction, to buy the plans for fusion, for cold fusion. So they already have the diamonds, and then they're going to hold this auction at a later time. So in the meantime, the con men, Michael Caine and Roger Moore, then are out to go steal these diamonds and whatever's in these little boxes to find out more about this auction.
Well, but that's not even the premise. Willie gets them in just to steal the diamonds.
Okay.
In the safe deposit boxes.
So that's the way that Willie lures them in to do the job.
A straight up kind of heisty kind of deal.
Right. And then we don't know at that point that Willie is working with the CIA.
Correct, because her daughter Flo, who we find out later is her daughter.
Yes, her actual daughter.
Her actual daughter that is also the daughter of one of the two scoundrelly con men versions of Caine and Roger.
Who they decide at the end to make Michael Caine's daughter, even though clearly this is Roger Moore's daughter.
Because you wanted the joke of Roger going,
I thought for sure it was my daughter.
Exactly.
She looks just like me.
Exactly. So it's like there's multiple bait and switches in this thing. Willie, who we don't know is working for the CIA, gets two con men to go in who look almost exactly like two scientists to go in and steal the shit from their safe deposit box, which for some reason is underneath a store.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes no. Yeah.
Unless it was just to get the want something soft joke, which even you had to go back and go, what? So They get in, they get the diamonds, they get the contents of the safe deposit box.
Yes.
They empty it out, and then they're told by somebody from MI5 who's cooperating with CIA that now they're stuck in it. They have to pretend to be, they have the scientists captured.
Yes.
Now they need to pretend to be them at the auction so they can find out who the buyers are and they can get the actual...
Then they can find the location of the actual recipe for cold fusion or whatever.
And pass off a bogus one to whoever the people who are selling it is.
That's what it is. Because there's a whole line in there about they're going to pass them a disc that teaches them how to make a very fancy...
Pudding.
Chocolate pudding.
Chocolate pudding. And so... the whole thing is this, the premise is that the US and the UK are working together to develop this jointly.
Yes.
And when they find out that it's been done, but that they want to sell it off, they're like, no, but we also don't want everybody else to learn how to do this because we as countries want to have this proprietary to ourselves.
Exactly. But you get all this madcap shit that goes on with when they're trying to get the diamonds. First of all, they have to get these keys that open the lock boxes.
Oh my God.
First they have to get the combination on the pad, on the finger pad that's inside this store.
Which they get Roger Moore's character's keypad number, but they only get all but one digit of Michael Caine's.
Yes.
So that's the first hurdle you have to get over.
Because the first thing is Willie goes in at the exact same time that the scientists' version of Moore and Caine are in there doing their thing, and she's got the old briefcase with the camera on the side of it, very
like
mask.
you do.
Hello, mask.
Yes.
So she's got video of them punching in the buttons with the exception of Michael Caine missing one.
Right.
So then they get that, but then they also need the key that opens the lockbox.
Actually open the box itself. The keypad gets them out of a locker.
Yes.
And then the key opens the lockbox itself.
Right.
Which was kind of confusing how they explained it.
Yes. I was like, wait, why do they need two key? Wait, what's going on? I thought there was only diamonds in one of the boxes. Why do we need two? I don't know. But you get these two different kooky scenarios where con man Roger Moore and con man Michael Caine both have to go get keys. And one of them is much more successful than the other. To start off with, Roger Moore goes into this house as a blind
Austrian piano tuner.
A blind Austrian piano tuner. with a big beard and a hat and
shaggy
glasses.
Hair,
it's just
the cane,
the whole thing. And he's got like a tape recorder that plays notes being played so that as he's looking around the house for the key, he's just playing that so as to distract the person that's currently in the house, the wife.
Who at one point in time goes out to get coffee that's caffeinated because she doesn't have caffeinated coffee.
Yeah, because she's trying to be accommodating.
Right. Like you do. I mean, I know that the British are all about their hospitality, but this was a tad ridiculous.
Yeah. So as she goes out to get coffee, he then starts looking around the rest of the house where he can get away with it now. And then she comes back and then he immediately plays blind again. Oh, I was looking for the second piano in the house?
Yes.
What? So she walks him back into the piano room, and as they're walking in there, he knocks over some very pricey statue that she's freaking out over. And of course, that's where the key is. The key is
underneath it, probably, or in it.
Yeah, so he falls to the ground and makes a mold of the key immediately on the sly. So now we know he has a key. And then we cut to Michael Caine, who then goes up in a window washer's pulley thing into the scientist's apartment, I guess.
I would assume it's the apartment.
Yeah. So he goes in and there's immediately a little tiny dog, which he greets happily. And then a big mean dog comes in.
With a spike collar.
With a spike collar, of course, because it might as well have been named Spike.
Correct. The collar proves to be very important in about 3, 2, 1. There's the key on the giant Rottweiler.
That's right.
This clearly establishes that Michael Caine is going to be the slapstick portion of this comedy duo.
Yes, because this is right about the time when he starts getting hurt all the time.
Right.
This is the first of many, in
the pursuance of whatever his portion of their mission is.
Yes.
He gets all the pitfalls, all the slapstick, all of it.
Yeah, and it begins with him getting bitten by this dog. So he has to jump out this window and slide down the rope to get out of there. He's unsuccessful in getting the key. So then con man Roger's got another idea. This time they're driving down the street at the same time that scientist Roger Moore is walking said Rottweiler.
Right.
And
with, mind you, in the back of a truck, a very gorgeous looking Afghan dog.
Afghan dog. So which of course entices the Rottweiler and manages to pull free from scientist Roger and runs after the Afghan dog, jumps onto the back of the truck, and then the very next shot is the most graphic dog humping shot
fantastic
in the history of cinema.
I'm watching it thinking Happy Gilmore, it's all in the hips. It's all in the hips.
So then, if that wasn't bad enough, they then walk this dog to some back alley where they've got a bunch of different dogs like tied to stuff that they then unleash this Rottweiler to do his best on or worst on.
Yep.
And he finally tires after mounting like 3 of them. And then they're able to finally
make the impression of the key.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like a simple plan.
Totally legitimate.
Clearly worked.
So that's how they get the diamonds.
Yeah. It literally took them 30 minutes just to get through that one thing.
Yeah. Just the impressions of the keys.
Yep.
That was like a third of the movie.
So they get it, and they get recruited, quote unquote, by MI5 and the CIA to go pretend to be the scientists at the auction, which is being held at some posh little restaurant thing. With people sitting at different tables, things like that.
Yeah, it's so weird. Well, and the funny thing is first up is con man Michael Caine, and he looks over at the table that he's supposed to go sit down at, and you immediately hear this like Transylvanian sounding horror. The organ music. And it's like this hall of murderers over there. You've got like one guy who looks like a vampire, and he even sits down and he's
I see that the Wolfman wasn't able to make it.
Yeah, exactly. So he sits down with these guys, and he has to have a thing in his ear so that he can explain.
Flo is talking to him so that they have questions. He can talk through it, the technical portion.
So he sounds like he's a legitimate scientist.
Right.
So he can sell them on the fact that, yes, he really has solved cold fusion.
Right.
Which, of course, then they make a joke of, because then the signal into his earpiece gets hijacked by 2 different radios. At one point, it's like the TV, and he starts talking about the news and who won in the latest Premier League match. And then next thing you know, you're on to like a police CB or something.
Right. Well, and they're like, he's talking in code.
Yeah, they just sort of accept it for whatever it is. But then they hand him the bids on pieces of paper and sends the guy who, this is 1990, so we're still in that era where there's a lot of stereotypes in this movie.
Super lot of stereotypes.
There's a lot of bad stereotypes in this movie. There's bad stereotypes of Asian people. There's bad stereotypes of Jewish people. There's bad stereotypes of fucking everybody.
Transylvanian people,
apparently people from Transylvania. So...
I mean, we did see him out in the day, so maybe Romanian instead of Transylvania. I don't know.
This Asian fellow apparently bid the lowest, and he sends him away.
But he's very unhappy about it.
He's very unhappy about it, and we end up seeing him about 5 or 6 more times throughout the remainder of this movie.
For no apparent reason, because there's no payoff.
Yeah, there's no payoff. He just wants revenge, or he wants to find out.
He wants to eliminate people.
Or maybe he's hell-bent on getting the plans to the cold fusion or something like that. But all he does is pop up at random moments and say, "What did they say? Did you hear what they said?"
Yes.
Like over and over and over again. Much like the non sequitur of Mr. Billy J. Mitchell popping up as this tourist who is happy every time something horrible happens to his wife, something violent happens to his wife. Right. Like at one point, the evil scientist, Roger Moore and Michael Caine, they try and kill the con men by throwing this wood crate off the top of this, a castle?
Yeah, they're at a castle.
Yeah, they try and throw this crate like several stories down, and instead they hit this guy's wife, and he's like, "Can I buy you a drink?" He's like so happy.
Every time somebody hurts his wife, he's like, "Can I buy you a drink?"
Yeah. It's the weirdest.
Well, and it's playing off of the, "oh, my wife" trope, you know?
Yeah,
but it feels so forced that it's not funny at all.
No, it's just confusing.
Although, to be fair, this movie is not funny at all.
It's just confusing.
It is confusing, and the true funny bits, because they're buried in the rest of the confusion, really don't get any play.
Right. I mean, even I had to rewind to get the joke where he goes, I came from a broken home.
That's right.
Where after getting out of the clink, Michael Caine goes to where his house is. The whole thing falls down. And the first thing he says to Willie's like, why do you look so down? And he's like, I came from a broken home.
Right. I mean, that is pretty much the caliber of the humor in this movie.
Yeah.
But in a movie that was a little bit more, maybe, I don't want to say serious, coherent is probably better.
Yeah. Well, there's no consistency. That's the problem. There's literally no consistency in this movie to speak of, even in terms of comedic tone.
Correct. Because like we said earlier, it goes from being kind of a dry British comedy to Dirty Rotten Scoundrels to an Abrams film like Top Secret or Airplane.
Yeah.
And it roundly soundly settles itself into a satire parody kind of situation for the last 30 minutes of the movie.
Right.
But up until then, it's back and forth.
And you just can't even hardly follow it.
The humor would have played better in a serious version of this movie.
Yeah.
Like, if you could have even had, in a serious film, you could have had him like walking over to his house from jail and watching it get blown up without the whole facade falling over him.
Yeah, without the Buster Keaton moment.
And then when he gets picked up, he could have just said, I come from a broken home. That would have been a great joke in a serious film. At least this one didn't even get a, huh?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, this movie, for all it's worth, gets a lot of, huh? But not a lot of,
But yes, the auction. So the second round of the auction.
Yep.
Now we've got con man Roger Moore conducting the auction. And there is one good line, but it's breaking the fourth wall.
Mm-hmm.
And it's out of nowhere. We're like 2/3 of the way into this movie. And suddenly Michael Caine breaks the fourth wall.
For no reason.
For no reason whatsoever.
Other than he's the narrator.
He is the narrator.
So he's consistently breaking the fourth wall in a verbal capacity.
Yes, because he's essentially sort of telling the story, sort of.
Right, from his own perspective.
Yes. So then Roger Moore's con man, he now is conducting the second portion of the bidding for this.
For a group of three people.
For the group of three people who have now initially bidded enough that they're now admitted into the final bidding.
Right. And then Michael Caine then has his own table with his own three bidders.
Right. So at Roger Moore's table, where he's conducting his auction, he's got more stereotypes there. We've got the guy that is wearing a
dashiki, maybe?
A dashiki. So he's clearly from an African nation. And then we've got, is it the bad Jewish stereotype?
The Jewish stereotype guy is over at Michael Caine's table.
Okay. Gotcha.
I think it's the guy in the dashiki, it's the blonde.
Yes.
And
some other random person.
Is it? I don't know. Doesn't matter. They don't win. So who cares?
Doesn't really matter. But basically, we've got those three. They all turn in their bids.
Yeah, little pieces of paper. Again,
little pieces of paper.
Bidding with paper.
Yes. And apparently there's a tie between the guy with the dashiki and the blonde, who is, we later find out, is a nymphomaniac.
By her own admission.
By her own admission. Raj sends away the third guy, who's apparently not important anyway. And then they rebid for the same thing. And that's when con man Roger, all he cares about is getting a little piece. And the girl has actually underbid the guy with the dashiki, but he sends the guy with the dashiki away and is like, well, is there a place that I can examine your rubies? So she obliges, and she's like, well, I have a car over here that you can come in on the train, and yes.
Wow.
And so, as he's walking away, Michael Caine is trying to bend his ear, and he's like, no, this one's for England. And he walks away.
Yeah. His first sort of Bondism right there.
Yeah, his one little Bondism. He's like, the things I do for England.
Exactly.
So he walks away, and then we get this fourth wall break, and Michael Caine says,
he gets Kim Basinger, and I'll get Nightmare on Elm Street.
It's just so dumb. And they stay on him for a really long time.
Much longer than they need to.
Yeah, like almost they're waiting for canned applause.
Right? Well, yeah, like
yeah, exactly.
Well, and then, I mean, they literally, 5 minutes later, Roger does a fourth wall break.
Yeah. Like, what is it for, though? I don't even remember anymore.
God, it's so long ago when we watched this movie an hour ago.
I know.
I don't remember either.
He does two of them, too. He does 2 fourth wall breaks.
Yes, that's true. And neither of them I can remember.
Well, I just remember the one at the very end about his daughter.
Well, yes, but that one felt less like a fourth wall break and more like it was part of the conversation, but it was also us being a wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah.
It wasn't a straight up narrative.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But I mean,
honestly,
completely out of context to what was happening, I'm pretty sure, because I can't really remember.
Totally inconsistent with how the movie was initiated. The
first hour of the movie didn't have this.
Right.
Any of the exposition that was coming from a narration standpoint was a voiceover only from Michael Caine.
Right.
And so in that regard, had it just been Michael Caine sitting at this table, doing a couple of looks over at the people and thinking it in his head, would have had the exact same joke effect, but stayed with the structure of the movie up to that point.
Right. This is just so dumb.
And I mean, when I look at the fact that Michael Winner, who... Is he a winner?
I mean, he did direct.
Is he a winner? It's like, wow, that guy's a real winner.
He did direct Death Wish 1, 2, and 3.
And have you seen Death Wish 1, 2, and 3?
No.
Death Wish 1, okay. Death Wish 2, Death Wish 3, garbage. Derivative garbage. But anyway, when I see that he's got a writing credit, it's like, let's try this. And then had the script writer, who was probably the guy nobody knows, was probably the on-set script doctor.
Yeah.
And he collaborates with this guy.
He's probably like tearing his hair out going, how am I going to shoehorn this in?
Right. And because a lot of this feels like it was made up on the fly.
Oh, absolutely. I'm kind of thinking like they got on set and he's like, well, what if he like almost does a McQuarrie, but like a much less adept Christopher McQuarrie.
Well, and you got to think neither Michael Caine or Roger Moore had to be terribly invested in what was happening.
Well, they didn't care. They were just having fun with their best friend.
Exactly.
Making this silly madcap comedy.
They were going to get paid. Didn't matter. And Michael Caine famously doesn't really care about his movies. There's some that he does.
There's some that he very much does, but then there's some that he very much does not.
No, he takes it for the paycheck.
Yeah.
Or he wants someplace he wants to go.
Yeah.
Or it's somebody he wants to work with.
Yeah.
As long as he gets whatever his fee is, he's going to show up and he's going to do the work.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he's probably way more collaborative on films that he's invested in than probably. He probably has lines he won't cross.
Sure.
Like, I'm not going to do that. That's fucking ridiculous. Right? Whereas Roger's like, well, I'm here, aren't I? Whatever you need me to do. However, if you don't have a good stuntman, nothing's going to happen.
Exactly.
And by the way, they don't have good stuntmen.
They don't have good stuntmen. In fact, they have dummies, literal crash test dummies in this movie. This moment that happens about 3/4 of the way into the movie when they're on the train and the guy that, I don't know what.
The porter.
The porter tries to open the door for Roger Moore.
This is scientist Roger Moore.
The scientist Roger. No.
You're right. It's Conman Roger Moore.
Conman Roger Moore. And there's some contraption set up with the opening of the...
It's a booby trap with a shotgun and a string.
Right.
I'm going to save you trying to walk your way through it.
Thank you. So a booby trap with a gun and a string shoots the porter. The porter's head flies off because it's just a dummy.
It's literally a dummy.
It's literally a dummy. They don't...
No blood, no gore.
They don't take any...
It's supposed to be funny. It's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be
stupid
funny.
and it's supposed to be stupid and ridiculous, and that's why they don't care.
Right. Because if you're trying to minimize the gore on a shotgun shot, he just gets hit in the chest, flies into a wall, falls down.
Right.
Right. But hey, what if his head came off? And then somebody's like, hey, what about the rating system? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because nobody in this movie dies.
No.
There's no like bad, fatal deaths in this. And clearly, even the people that die don't die. It's just a dummy that dies.
Right. He magically turned into a dummy.
Right. Exactly. He really did magically turn into a dummy, along with the very next porter scene that we see, who also gets killed in Michael Caine's room.
Right.
And then finally,
we get
there's
a
even
third guy
that is the dumbest gag that any like middle schooler has ever learned how to do. Look, I'm eating all of this ruler. It's all going down my throat. And if you just turn your head sideways and put it behind your head, it looks like the whole ruler is going into your mouth. That's all they did for the third guy. When he gets on the phone, he's like, I got to call the police. There's 2 deaths on the train. As soon as he picks up the phone, this antenna goes behind his head and he makes it look as if it's gone through his entire head.
Yeah. I think we're running out of budget at this point. Somebody's like, nobody's actually died in this movie. Hold my beer.
So then in the final chapter of this movie, they wind up in Scotland with some bad stock imagery and some fake, well, maybe it was real. I have no idea. Some of the, like the pole flipping and...
Caber toss.
Was that what it's called?
Yeah, caber toss.
Yeah.
They're tossing their cabers. Wink.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So a lot of, kilts and what have you. And I don't even know. It's just, I'm like, it's going through my head and it's just.
It's just leaking out of your ears.
It's just ooze.
There's nothing to hold it.
It's just ooze in my brain that I can't really.
Well, all I can say about the third act of this is that it is so confusing.
And everyone...
You've got the 2 principal actors playing 2 principal roles, dressed in the exact same costumes.
They're chasing each other.
And the only way you can tell them apart is by the bad American accent from Michael Caine and the regular, which they then switch back and forth on in character.
Yes, because then they even have these moments where con man Roger Moore is talking to scientist Michael Caine. And con man Roger Moore is like, you got to work on that accent. But he's talking to the guy
talking to the actual American version. Yes. And then there's another gig like that later on as we go through. But we also get at this point, we find out that the CIA is planning on double crossing, or and MI5 are planning on double crossing the con men.
Yes.
And killing
the scientists for that.
And the scientists both. They're going to.
And you've got all these people, literally everyone at this Scottish event. They're all agents. Even the puppeteers, they walk past.
They watch out a Punch and Judy thing, and they're like, just keep going to the left. Yeah. And they've got a minstrel who's playing, it's not even a mandolin, I think it's a lute.
Yeah.
And he's like, just keep going this way, and da-da-da-da-da.
Right. And then the guy scrubbing the floor, he's like, up the stairs and to the left.
But that turns out to be Scientist Roger. Because he comes into the room, pulls off the really bad mask, and he's in the dress of the cleaning lady.
Oh my God. I didn't even know. See, again, this movie, there's just all this weird.
Well, and I only noticed it because he's got like this weird sort of Silence of the Lambs leather skin mask thing on it.
Honestly, that was just me being confused for like 3 minutes.
It's all right.
When that part happened.
It's all right. I was confused for an hour and 34 minutes.
Thank God this movie was only an hour and a half.
Correct.
So yeah, the final act basically is they're supposed to do the trade between the money and the cold fusion plans.
Right.
But you've got, at the very last second, the scientist Roger Moore knocks out the con man Roger Moore.
Right.
Or wait, no, it's the other way around.
Is it?
I don't even know.
Does it matter?
Doesn't matter. No.
I think we just keep going and we see what happens.
Yeah. And again, they just keep switching back and forth. They try and do the handoff. It doesn't work because then the other Michael Caine and the other Roger Moore come into the room and you have this bad fight between the 2 different Roger Moores and Michael Caines where you see the faces of the stuntmen, or the doubles, I should say.
Clearly.
You can clearly see the doubles fighting Roger Moore and Michael Caine. So dumb.
Yep. So we get a car chase. There's a motorcycle that you're like, oh, well, Roger's going to ride that, right?
Nope.
Michael Caine riding a bike with Roger riding pillion behind him.
Yeah.
And oh God, bad Michael Caine. Bad. Has Michael Caine ever rode a motorcycle, I wonder? I don't know.
Well, I mean, and even...
He wasn't riding it here, I can tell you that.
Well, and Roger Moore is just wide-eyed through the whole thing, like,
Right.
They might as well have piped in the James Bond Wilhelm scream during that entire chase sequence. Because that's the face that he's making the entire time. Is the,
oh!
So eventually, I don't even know. Somehow
does it really matter?
It doesn't really
no,
matter.
I mean, I feel like we're at the point where none of this really matters.
None of this really matters. I mean, eventually
there's some shenanigans.
There's some shenanigans happen
that make no sense.
And then the CIA thinks that they've got the scientist Michael Caine, but then Michael Caine has to throw a dart that he
into a bird
that he just happens to have on his belt. He's got this little dart on his belt so he can prove that he's the con man, Michael Caine. So he kills the bird with the dart.
And they're like, oh yeah, he's a vegetarian. He wouldn't have done that.
Right.
He must be the real deal.
Right. So then the CIA go run after the other guys. They eventually get them. And then at the very, very last moment, we find out that the con men, Michael Caine and Roger Moore, aren't going to get any money out of it, but they will have all their charges lifted for anything they've ever done in the past.
Right. Well, because the CIA is like, oh, we're going to have to, the money that they gave, the diamonds they gave us were fake.
Right.
But we're like, we weren't doing it for the diamonds that you got on these trades. We were doing it for the diamonds we got out of the safe deposit box.
Right.
And the CIA guy's like, yeah, well, we're keeping those.
Right. So in the meantime, Flo still has the actual plans to cold fusion.
Right.
And she goes to follow the CIA, but she overhears the CIA guy and the MI5 guy say that they intend to kill
the con men.
The con men, a.k.a. one of those two is her dad. Which I don't even think she knows.
At that point, no.
And so she then decides, I'm out of here, runs back to where her two dads.
Her two dads.
And along with Willie are. And they decide to sell the actual cold fusion plans back to...
they end up sending it back to London or to MI5 and America.
Well, they sell it to England.
Oh, no, that's right. They just sell it straight up to England, not even to the U.S. That's right.
And then we're in Barbados.
Which is where they go.
Yeah.
Well, they say Willie goes and marries some industrialist in America.
Yeah.
Flo opens up an art shop making things.
Well, she makes jewelry.
Making jewelry.
With some of the diamonds that they had.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that part of it. Yeah. And then they end up in Barbados.
Yes. And so then they're in Barbados, and we see on TV, England, we see somebody playing Margaret Thatcher.
Which looked a lot like Fiona Shaw, but I didn't see her in the credits, so I can't say.
So,
Basically playing Margaret Thatcher, that she's christening the opening of the new facility, they turn the machine on, and Bob's your uncle, kaboom.
Yeah, it's all messed up. And
then they cut to the scientists who are wherever in jail.
Yeah. And they're like, well, it needed a couple weeks. Might have been the only funny part in the whole movie.
Probably. If I'd laughed, it probably would have been funny.
Yeah.
Wow. If I had to go through an hour and 33 minutes to get to the one good joke.
Good Lord.
And then, of course, we have the man who looks like John Cleese scene.
Yes. So now we're back to Barbados. And the man who looks like John Cleese is on the beach with some little cute thing, and Michael Caine and Roger Moore are at this little bar, little tiki bar type thing. Right. Well, one of them's talking to John Cleese. Well, Michael Caine is. Michael Caine's talking.
But he's doing narration.
Yes.
To explain. And then we met this guy who was this famous actor who was like, I want him to play me in a movie. So we're talking about it. And then you get John Cleese. He's just like, mutter, mutter, mutter. It just, oh, gosh. And then they're both doing the narration at the end.
Yeah. Suddenly Raj gets in on the action, and they both talk about the fact that this guy conned them into a movie that he actually never made.
Right. Took all their money. Now they're broke again.
And now Raj is apparently stealing suitcases again from people because they're broke.
But hey, at least they're in Barbados.
They're in Barbados. And that is literally the end of this movie.
Thank heavens.
Holy cow.
Thank heavens.
I really didn't even think we were going to make it through this review, because this movie is it's just garbly-gook.
Now, I will say this. It's one redeeming quality. It is better than Jigsaw Man. But if I had to watch both of these movies with a gun to my head, I would watch this one.
Yes, mainly because you get to watch the two bounce off each other a little bit.
Mainly because I get to just listen to Michael Caine talk for an hour and a half.
Right. And occasionally Roger Moore just makes me laugh in a kind of embarrassed but slightly
I feel
amused.
bad for you, but it's funny anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That sort of thing.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
So, but that is Bullseye!
With an exclamation point.
This is about the furthest thing from a bullseye as you could make for a movie.
Unless your Bullseye was to turn out a crappy buddy comedy starring two actors who are completely not right for the parts that they're doing.
Yeah. I mean,
it hits the mark.
They clearly just wanted to have fun together for 3 months. They just wanted to make a goofy thing and just hang out with each other. They probably like went and drank and gambled every night or whatever, you know, and just.
But it makes you. It does bring up an interesting question that has nothing to do with the movie. But how could two actors of this, one actor of caliber, one actor of note,
yes,
not have been able to make any kind of a movie together in the 40 plus years of their career?
That wasn't better.
Exactly. But at all. They've never made a movie together, right?
And they certainly could have made a better one than this.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, Roger was definitely at the nadir of his career.
Yeah.
Because he was basically, a few years from retiring from acting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, Michael Caine, not so much. But
right.
Surely their paths could have crossed at something better than what this was.
Yeah.
And I have to wonder, what is the reason that never happened?
I still think in my heart of hearts that Roger really wanted to make comedies, and that's not where his strengths are. But he really liked them, and his best friend obliged.
Sure.
And this is what came out of it.
Do you almost think that maybe the only reason this movie got any kind of financing because Michael Caine said yes?
Yeah, that's what I think. Because it wasn't Raj selling this movie.
No, not at all.
No,
but because Michael Caine still had cachet at that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that
Michael Caine has had cachet into the 2000s
forever.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas Roger has played James Bond.
Yes.
He's been in other movies where he was.
And don't get
James
me wrong.
Bond.
Don't get me wrong. Raj is one of my favorite Bonds. I mean, he really is. I love him to pieces. But
before James Bond, he was a TV actor playing
James Bond.
James Bond with a slightly less spiffy car.
And a different name.
So, and I mean, I don't know. I've never watched everything that Roger Moore has made, but everything that I have watched that he has made, that I've watched on my own, seemed like it was a derivation of him playing James Bond.
Yes.
I mean, I'm glad they got to do it. It looked like they probably had a ball doing it.
Yeah.
In my mind and my heart of hearts, I wonder why something better between these two actors couldn't have been cobbled together by somebody in 40 some odd years.
Like, were they friends with Mr. Winter, or was Winter just someone they could afford? Did all of the money in this budget go towards Michael Caine and Roger Moore?
I'm guessing it did.
And so there was no money left to hire a more capable director, a more capable, somebody a little bit more polished as far as writing goes. I mean, or not even polished, this guy that wrote it, Leslie Bracus, he's a musical guy.
Why would you get this guy to
why wouldn't you hire somebody? I mean, if you're gonna make a madcap comedy, why don't you hire the Abrams or somebody of that ilk? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, and I mean, honestly, it's not like Canon Films was known for turning out.
No, they weren't.
I mean, they did turn out some stuff, right? I'm looking at it now. Here we go. Are we ready?
Okay.
In the 80s, The Happy Hooker Goes to Hollywood. Great film.
Oh, boy.
Dr. Heckle and Mr. Hype. Here we go. Enter the Ninja, one of my faves.
Oh, boy.
Right?
Yeah, okay.
Death Wish 2, Lady Chatterley's Lover, The Last American Virgin. But then they did that championship season, which got nominated for Oscar, right? So they're all over the place. Magnificent
I feel like
Seven.
they're just playing the numbers game. They were just cranking out cheap-ass movies.
They absolutely were.
Cranking out cheap-ass movies and hoping that one of them stuck.
Ninja 3, The Domination.
Oh, good Lord.
The classic 1984 movie Breakin' 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
And I'm going because I know we get to much better movies as we go along. American Ninja, Life Force. Hold on. I'm moving through the 80s here. Delta Force, Cobra, starring Mr. Sylvester Stallone. And his then wife, Brigitte Nielsen. Invaders from Mars. Come on, get me here, people. Firewalker.
Isn't that the Chuck Norris one?
Sure is. Masters of the Universe.
Oh, God.
I mean, Barfly. More Death Wish. So much Death Wish.
I mean, at least Barfly was kind of an artsy movie.
Yes, they did make some movies that were actually critically acclaimed, but most of their stuff is just 80s schlock.
Yeah, it's just stuff that most of it was probably straight to video.
It's the stuff that you thought Orion Pictures made, but it wasn't good enough for that.
Well, and that's the funny thing. I thought a lot of those movies that you listed off, I did think were Orion Picture movies. Because all those stupid ninja movies I thought were done by Orion. Like the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja.
Yeah. And this company, by the way, was on its way out the door. They filed for bankruptcy the year this thing came out.
Well, maybe that was part of it too.
Could be. I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is that from the standpoint of a budgetary concern, they were clearly not spending a lot of money on, what it said, $15 million budget.
Yeah.
So Michael Caine got $3 million of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming Raj got the same amount.
Probably.
Because Michael Caine probably wouldn't have done it if Raj didn't get the same amount.
Right.
So that's $6 million. They had $9 million to make this movie, and every dollar of it shows. You know what, Ben? Usually you're the one who closes these things off, but I think I'm done talking about this movie.
I'm absolutely done talking about this damn thing.
Do you know what I would like to hear?
What's that?
I'd like to hear from some of those people that might actually pay the $7 to watch this piece of garbage.
Absolutely.
Or watch it for free on the YouTubes, and maybe such a bad resolution it's slightly better.
That's right. I would love to hear if anybody out there who listens to us has actually seen this pathetic piece of trash.
Let us know.
Let us know. Give us any thoughts you have whatsoever on this movie, because I'd love to hear your insight or just thoughts or critiques. But you can contact us through all sorts of different ways, via email at cicdeaddrop@gmail.com, on Instagram at Central Intelligence Cinema, separated by underscores, or on Twitter, it's at CIC SpyPod. And then there's a whole bunch of other socials that we are on, and you can find them all at the bottom of the show description of this very episode that you are listening to. But man, this thing has just worn me out. I'm ready to get out of here. What do you say?
Please.
Yes. Well, with that, I am Ben.
I'm Jason.
And the CIC will, in fact, return with more missions, more martinis,
and more mayhem! Exclamation point.